Warning: the opinions expressed in this video do not represent YouTube, associations, agencies, or any particular individuals. They are merely from two guys needing to pass the boredom of their average day lives. Some explicit content may occur in this or future presentations. Viewer discretion may be advised, but ignored if you're into that thing.
What's up, everybody? I'm Wild Man Wes.
And I'm the Big Bad Wolf Benny.
And welcome to the Wild Wolf Show's Shocktoberfest Day 30.
Ooh, Devil's Night.
I know. But we already did the crow, so we're going to do something else. And as you can see by my shirt, I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey. Obviously, with something like Halloween coming up, a lot of people love to talk about the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is a film adaptation from a straight-up musical called The Rocky Horror Show, which was also created and directed by none other than Richard O'Brien. He's done a lot of cameos in movies, such as Flash Gordon. We mentioned that before. And it takes a lot of bits and pieces from classic science fiction movies of the 50s and the 60s. And
that's a little twist, a horror twist to it.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'll give you the premise. I'm sure everybody has seen Rocky Horror by now.
We just had that remake last year on Halloween.
Yeah, and I'm going to get into that on the bad subject, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to start off with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The movie is about a couple, Brad Majors and Janet Weiss. They are going to a wedding, and they finally have their own little romantic moment of wanting to be engaged, and throughout the whole film, Charles Gray, the late great Charles Gray, is a criminologist who is narrating the entire film of what is going on in the exploits of their adventures. And it starts off that they are driving through a rainy, muddy area and the car breaks down. So, what does anybody do that has a broken down car? They look for help. So they go to an old castle and they are, basically introduced to the Transylvanians. Bunch of outlandish people that come to a convention in the middle of the night. And it is hosted by a man named Dr. Frankenfurter, who is played by the legendary, the iconic Tim Curry. I don't even need to tell you who Tim Curry is. I don't even need to remind you what movies he's been in. He has been in everything.
Another thing I love about Tim Curry is his iconic laugh. One of my favorite things on YouTube to watch is just go put like Tim Curry compilation laughing in. It's just like all his movies he's ever been in is the same laugh.
Yeah. Rabble. So you find out that Dr. Frankenfurter is in the process of making a creation. He wants a man. And he makes himself a man. And he's got muscles, he's blonde, he's tan. The women love him, the men want to be him. Well, after he makes his creation, he decides he's going to have a little fun with his guests, one by one. And, we don't even need to talk about it because you pretty much already know that subject. And Brad and, Janet need to figure out, they need to get out of there as quick as possible. And as they're trying to figure out their escape, they are, sidetracked by one of Brad Majors' former colleagues, Dr. Everett Scott, otherwise known as Dr. Everett von Scott. We're going back to the whole German thing again. I swear. It was like with waxwork, I'm not making this up, seriously.
Watch the movies, guys, you'll see. Yeah. They're not lying.
And it turns out that Frankenfurter and his little cohorts are actually from another planet. And they are going to take over. And, well, Frankenfurter's little cohorts decide they want a little more power. So,
who doesn't like power?
They take over, they let everybody escape, they go back to transsexual Transylvania. And everybody lived morbidly ever after.
Pretty much, that's the story, guys.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot in between all that, guys, but again, we don't want to ruin the movie for you.
Like we said, chances are a lot of people have probably seen this movie. It's a cult classic.
It really is.
When it first came out in the 70s, it was panned by reviewers.
It's not easy having a good time.
They really didn't like it.
Yeah, it was
However,
weird. There's, back then, guys dressing in,
in the costumes and everything,
and stuff like that.
But with the cult following, there's been midnight showings all over the world.
One of the closest one to us, we have Hollywood Boulevard. I'm pretty sure it's every midnight they have a showing of it.
Every midnight on the weekends, I believe.
They have a showing of it, so that's awesome.
They do a really great job. I commend them for all their hard work and effort. I actually had the privilege and honor of being in 2 different productions of the Rocky Horror Picture Show when I was in college at Illinois State University. In 2006, I got to play the role of Eddie, played by Meatloaf, which, that's always
awesome.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite characters in the show. And in 2007, I actually got the privilege and honor of directing and playing the role of Riff Raff. And I love this show more than any musical I can think of. It's definitely a guilty pleasure. But going back to that whole thing of the cult classic, what really helped it was there was a young man named Sal Piro who has been the lifelong president of the Rocky Horror Fan Club. He started this kind of audience participation where certain things would happen in the movie and he'd throw a line back. It's kind of that typical, somebody's sitting in the movie theater and something crazy's happening on the screen and they're yelling, "Don't go there, don't walk through the door, don't answer the phone." That type of situation, which really set up the concept in the 80s for Mystery Science Theater 3000. I mean, honestly, I would dare say, without the audience participation of Rocky Horror, MST3K may never have existed. Or it could have, it just may not have had the popularity that it's grown.
And that's not good for anybody if it's not around.
No. But, I mean, other than that, what I really like about it is just the concept. I mean, it takes from science fiction films, but it doesn't really steal it. It
makes it their own.
Yeah,
it makes it their own.
I mean, especially with the psychosexual activity in the movie.
That was just the time period, guys, so that's why they added that in there.
Yeah. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, the cast is awesome. You got Barry Bostwick, who plays Brad, Susan Sarandon, who plays Janet, even though she doesn't care to talk about being in that movie anymore. Charles Gray, I mentioned, he was a former Bond villain.
We had so many good people.
Patricia Quinn was, Columbia. No, not Columbia.
No.
Sorry, everybody, Magenta. You know what? We're just wanting to try to make sure that we
mention everybody.
And you get ahead of ourselves. But little Nell Campbell is Columbia.
There
we go. Sorry, everybody. You can hate on me all you want. It's okay.
This guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was just a good movie. I have so many things I like about it. It's hard to really pick one. Probably my favorite one was Tim Curry playing, our doctor.
I mean, honestly, that role pretty much skyrocketed his career.
It did. I mean, like I said, Tim Curry is just phenomenal. He's done a lot of great work in movies. I mean, especially a lot of movies you probably didn't realize it was him. A couple of my favorite, obviously, It. With the remake coming, I really hope that Tim Curry gets like some kind of cameo role in it. At least I haven't seen it yet. We'll see. He was The Darkness and Legend. A lot of people don't remember him in that because but he's got that laugh.
Yeah. I mean, one of my fondest memories, especially in cartoons, he was the voice of Captain Hook on Peter Pan and the Pirates.
Yeah.
And also, a little tidbit of information, he was originally going to be, but when they did a test screening,
he was too scary.
So but we got Mark Hamill out.
We got Mark Hamill, and dare I say, probably the greatest Joker.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, but he's got the best Joker laugh ever.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have actually. Yeah. It's very hard to find footage of Tim Curry doing some of the Joker dialogue before they said it was too scary for kids. I've heard it once, and I haven't been able to find it ever again.
Yeah,
it was terrifying. Terrifying. Tim Curry just has that distinct voice where he could have easily just gone on a career just doing voiceover work.
I mean, he has, though.
He has, but
he was in the Wild Thornberrys on Nickelodeon.
Oh, I'm just saying, though, if he just focused on voiceovers, he still would, I dare say, probably be as big of a star as he is now.
True.
Based on just doing movies and voiceovers. Because he's just got that very distinct voice, and he can change his voice up a little bit. I mean, he's a very good actor.
Yeah, I mean, apart from that, with the cast, I mean, the cinematography, phenomenal. A lot of different locations within the castle.
Yeah.
And the music?
The music, honestly, there's a lot of songs. I mean, who doesn't know the songs from that? Who doesn't know the dance from that either? I mean,
yeah.
I'll be the first person to say it. us white people really do need directions on how to dance. That's why, I mean, like...
But all of us know how to do the time warp.
Yes.
Because there's instructions in it. So.
Well, that's why, like, songs like the Electric Slide and all that stuff that tell you what to do in the song, those were made for white people, because we can't dance.
No, we can't.
So,
not at all.
that's why those songs exist, because we can't dance.
Anyways, I mean, the only thing that I don't like about it is probably... at times it hasn't aged well. I mean, in certain circumstances,
there's certain scenes there where it's just like, I can't believe that was a thing.
Well, and not just that. I think it has to deal with. I feel like we live in this time of mediocrity, where maybe people are running out of ideas for new concepts for movies and TV shows, and they keep just remaking things. I mean, I'm a purist in the matter, but when you take something like Rocky Horror and you make it TV available, that's a big no-no, because that movie is strictly about, you know, sex, violence, and I mean, there's not like a whole lot of blood, guts, and gore, but I mean, there's a lot of scary science fiction horror in there, but there's a lot of sexual overtones, and to try to put that on TV, you're going to have something very, very bland. And not just that.
Now, we're not saying the cast in the new one was bad, because that's one of the big things people were paying, like, oh, blah, blah.
No, I mean, they had Tim Curry as the criminologist, so, I mean, I'll give them that.
My whole thing just was, why... You don't have to remake something that's perfect.
And don't fix what isn't broken.
Exactly. Why? That's like saying, my car's running fine. You know what? I'm just going to put a new engine in it anyway.
Well, I mean, they did the same thing with Grease too, and putting it on TV, and then didn't they do? I think they did Dirty Dancing too.
They've done it all.
And it was, I mean, and I even watched couples blips of it just to humor, myself.
Well,
and I was like,
no, hell no, no, I refuse, no.
Let's put it this way. Everybody wants to come up with an original idea. There are no more original ideas.
No. We still try to think original ideas, and all I can always think to myself is, Simpsons did it, Simpsons did it.
It's just, I mean, look at, perfect example, modern day superheroes. All you're really redoing is telling the stories of Greco-Roman heroes, demigods like Heracles, Hercules, whatever you want to call them, Achilles, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Theseus. All that. It's just retellings of all that. All you're doing is updating it and adding maybe a few new things to it. So there hasn't been an original idea since an original idea was an original idea.
The original idea.
Again. See how it goes in a circle?
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop.
We have one more to go after this, and...
Well, we want to grade this one, though. Can't move on before we grade.
Well, I'd like to say,
nostalgia reasons?
For nostalgia reasons, I'm giving it an A-.
I agree with that. I'm actually going to give it an A, just because I happen to enjoy it. It's one of those tidbits from...
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason why I'm giving it an A- is because I've watched it so many times, and also when I was the director for it in 2007 at Illinois State, I had to watch the movie over and over and over and over and over again just to get down the blocking right for my cast and crew. And I'm sure they can admit to this. I was not a very nice person to be around sometimes, but that's neither here nor there. And and for everybody that was in my cast and crew on that one, I commend you for all your hard work. You guys, made it a lot more for me, and I really hope that I did a good job. But other than that, I hope all of you are doing well. And so moving on from that.
Now we're moving on to part 2, the sequel, Shock Treatment.
Oh, doozy.
I'm going to let you take this, brother, because you are a lot more passionate about musicals than I am.
Okay, so this one, it supposedly takes place after all the story from the original film, where Brad and Janet are married and they are going into a TV studio to watch a show called Dentonvale, which takes place in their hometown of Denton. We forgot to mention that in the first one, but I'm sure most people have seen the first one.
They'll know.
But I don't know if a whole lot of people have seen Shock Treatment. Because
I didn't even know it existed until you told me about it.
Yeah, I mean, what happens is there's a lot of vignettes of different TV shows going on throughout the studio, and a lot of the situations are intertwined, and it turns out the head of the TV studio is in love with Janet, and he wants to make her his. And they try to put Brad into a mental institution because he is an emotional cripple, that he doesn't know how to treat Janet right, and even her parents are involved in on it.
You guys know that old tidbit.
Yeah, I mean, so Brad is trying to figure out a way to get out of the mental institution with the help of a criminologist, not the same, well, it's played by Charles Gray, but it's not the exact same one. And then also Ralph Habshat from the original film's wife, Betty. Apparently they're divorced in this one, so she and the criminologist from the first one have to try and save Brad to confront the head of the TV network his name is Farley Flavors. And both characters of Brad and Farley are played by Clifty Young. The guy has been in a lot of movies. One of my favorite performances of his would have to be either the dad in Flight of the Navigator or the lawyer in Suicide Kings. So those
Flight of the Navigator's probably.
Yeah, I like that one. But yeah, rabble. So Brad has to confront Farley, and eventually you find out that Denton itself is the TV studio. Dun dun dun. I had to spoil it for you because chances are a lot of people haven't seen this one, or if you have, I commend you on surviving this one because this one was a little hard to watch.
It really was.
So moving on, let's talk about what we like, what we don't like.
What I really didn't like was finding out that the city was actually the studio. I mean,
Yeah.
I felt like that's been done before many, many times.
We got trolled.
Did we really need a sequel to Rocky Horror?
No, we didn't.
No.
I mean, it's good for what it is, and I respect Richard O'Brien for trying. I really do. However, I've noticed with anytime you do a sequel to a musical, it's never worked.
You can't.
Unless of course and I've never watched them, but what I've heard from ratings on TV and kids of my friends talking about High School Musical with Disney.
Yeah, no.
But what I'm saying is, to what I understand, it's a follow-up and a follow-up and a follow-up as they get older.
I guess.
I can understand that, but when they did Grease 2, it flopped. When I heard about Shock Treatment, I could only imagine it would probably suffer the same fate. I mean, the music in it is good for what it is.
That's probably the best part about this movie.
I feel like some of the songs were kind of lazy.
I feel like this whole movie was really kind of lazy. Like I said, it's trying to milk the cow, even though it's just been milked. It's a dry udder.
But
guys.
the redeeming quality is the fact that they had got quite a number of the original cast. Richard O'Brien, obviously, from the director himself, playing like a mad doctor in a way. Patricia Quinn came back playing his quote-unquote sister. I mean, it goes back to that same template. Little Nell comes in as a nurse. Charles Gray, as we mentioned before, plays like a criminologist type character, and then Jeremy Nansen, the guy who played Ralph Habshat in the first one, reprises his role. And then other than that, they had a lot of different people. They recast Brad and Janet. Like I said, Clifty Young played Brad Majors, and also Jessica Harper plays Janet Majors. And if you have seen any of the movies she's been in a couple, but the one that I think most horror fans would know her as is the lead in Suspiria. And I love that movie. I don't care what anybody says. I love that one. But little tidbit of information, though. The character of Neely, who's kind of this camera grip in the studio, is played by Betsy Brantley. What a lot of people don't know, and when I found this out, I was kind of stoked. She was actually the live-action stand-in for Jessica Rabbit in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So that's kind of an interesting, tidbit. So
yes.
I mean, other than that, the acting was good for what it was. I just think that
it was above par. It wasn't below par. It wasn't at par. It was a little bit. It was slightly above par.
The acting did what it could for the writing aspect.
Anyway, guys, let's just jump in right to, because I don't have anything else nice to say about the movie.
Me either. I mean, I'm a Rocky Horror fan, but this one really
so let's just jump into the
me.
grade. I'm just going to give this one a C minus. I mean, like I said, we really didn't need it. I mean, it's cool you wanted to make it, but again, I feel like you were just trying to milk that cow, and just the udder is dry.
I mean, I can understand on that one. I mean, especially when you have a cult classic, it's hard to do a follow-up, because a lot of times when you have a cult classic, sequels definitely...
They kill it.
I mean, and a lot of the ones that we've done so far about, movie series, it's definitely...
It's sad. I mean, there's certain movies you should make sequels to. There's certain movies that
Yeah.
Just leave them alone.
I mean,
They're
don't get me
great
wrong.
games.
Some of these sequels for some of the series, they do have a place in our hearts, but at the same time, at what cost? I mean, and that's
again, there's just a lot of them. Just like, did we really need it?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm gonna have to agree on Benny with this one. I mean, I was really excited when I heard that there was a sequel. Quite a while back. When I was in college, I didn't realize it until the internet basically showed me, and when I saw it, I was pretty disappointed. And I'm gonna have to agree with him and give him a C-. I mean, I could have given it a worse grade, but however, there were some redeeming qualities. So, yeah, C-. Because I love Rocky Horror, that's why. And I love Richard O'Brien. He is very talented.
Oh, he is. Don't get us wrong. Like I said, we're just coming from a non-biased critic as we're trying to be.
And trust me, I'm very biased on Rocky Horror.
Yes.
I am. And so, for me, this was the hardest review I would dare say I had to do. I mean, personally, so.
Fair.
And I hope you'll all be, lenient on me with some of the things I've said about it.
And if you're not, hit us something down in the comments. Shoot us a like, maybe share it, but of course, push the red button.
Because the more subscribers we have, the more content we can give you. I know I sound like a broken record at this rate. But
guys, just so you know, we actually just repeat this every time. We don't have it on standby.
No, it's just, I think it's just that verbal take
I
now.
can't believe it. Day 30.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Halloween.
Oof. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We've made it this far.
We have Shocktoberfest is coming to an end.
Yep. And we hope that you'll join us tomorrow on the conclusion of Shocktoberfest on the Wild Wolf Show.
It's going to be a doozy.
Yep.
Science fiction, double feature, Dr. X will build a creature, see androids fighting.
Be Halloween, man! Oh man, dude, I cannot wait to finish this. We can go out, we can party. It's gonna be awesome.
I can't though. I said I'd babysit for my sister, and then we're gonna take.
You're kidding me, man.
Bro, it's my niece and my nephew.
Babysitting on Halloween, man. Who does that? I mean, that just sounds like a horror movie. That I don't get it.
Did you hear that? I don't know. Man. Sounds like it's coming from that part of the room.